Welcome to the Apple Daily News. This podcast is created by Generative AI. Today is October 13th, 2024, and we've got a fascinating lineup of stories for you. From Apple's latest macOS achievements to intriguing insights into large language models and a significant shift in Apple's automotive ambitions, we've got it all covered. Links to all stories can be found in the episode notes. Let's start with Apple's macOS 15 Sequoia, which has recently been recognized as a compliant version of Unix by the Open Group. This certification is a noteworthy milestone, placing macOS among officially verified Unix variants. Interestingly, there are separate entries for both Apple Silicon and x86-64 versions. However, it's important to note that the term Unix has evolved over time. Today, the certification primarily indicates compliance with POSIX standards rather than the original AT&T source code. The release of Sequoia did encounter some initial security software issues, but these were swiftly addressed in an update to version 15.1. The Unix certification is more about compatibility and the presence of specific tools, as seen with other systems like IBM's ZOS, which are also on the list, despite their distant relation to traditional Unix. macOS's core, built on the XNU kernel derived from BSD code, has a rich history tracing back to Apple's acquisition of Next in 1996. This led to the development of Mac OS X, which has evolved into the current macOS. While the Unix certification is a significant achievement, its relevance has shifted in a landscape where many operating systems are either free and open source or freeware. Moving on to Apple's recent study on large language models, or LLMs, from companies like Meta and OpenAI. The study highlights significant flaws, particularly in the model's ability to perform basic reasoning tasks. Apple introduced a new benchmark called GSM-Symbolic to evaluate these capabilities. Initial tests showed that minor changes in query wording could lead to drastically different answers, raising concerns about the reliability of LLMs. The study specifically examined the fragility of mathematical reasoning, demonstrating that adding contextual information could reduce accuracy by up to 65%. For example, a math problem involving the total number of kiwis picked by a character named Oliver was miscalculated by LLMs when irrelevant details were included. This showcases a lack of formal reasoning, as the models incorrectly subtracted smaller kiwis from the total. The researchers concluded that LLMs primarily rely on sophisticated pattern matching rather than genuine understanding. They emphasize that the model's performance deteriorates with increased complexity in questions, indicating a fundamental limitation in their design. Overall, the study calls into question the viability of using LLMs as reliable agents for reasoning tasks. In related research, the mathematical reasoning capabilities of LLMs have been further scrutinized through the GSM-8K benchmark, which evaluates models on grade school-level math questions. Despite improvements in performance, doubts remain about the authenticity of their reasoning abilities. To investigate this, researchers introduced the GSM-Symbolic benchmark, which uses symbolic templates to generate a wider variety of questions for more controlled evaluations. The study revealed significant variability in responses to different versions of the same question, with performance notably declining when only numerical values are changed. As the complexity of questions increases, particularly with more clauses, the model's performance drops sharply. This suggests that LLMs may not engage in true logical reasoning, but rather mimic reasoning patterns from their training data. The introduction of even a single irrelevant clause can lead to performance decreases of up to 65% across various state-of-the-art models. These findings provide deeper insights into the limitations of LLMs in mathematical reasoning, emphasizing the need for more reliable evaluation metrics. The research has been accepted for presentation at the Natural Language Reasoning and Structured Explanations Workshop at ACL 2024. Finally, let's talk about Apple's decision to cancel its self-driving vehicle testing permit in California. This follows the abandonment of its electric vehicle project earlier this year. The California Department of Motor Vehicles confirmed that Apple requested the cancellation of the permit on September 25th, with the cancellation taking effect on September 27. This decision marks the end of a decade-long effort by Apple to develop an electric vehicle, which had been reported to be shelved by Bloomberg's Mark Gurman in February 2024. The permit, obtained in 2017, allowed Apple to test autonomous vehicles equipped with safety drivers on public roads in California. Had it not been cancelled, the permit would have remained valid until April 30, 2025. Apple had been using leased Lexus SUVs outfitted with various sensors and cameras to explore autonomous driving technologies. The cancellation of the permit is seen as a significant step in concluding Apple's ambitions in the automotive sector, which had generated considerable speculation and interest over the years. The company's shift away from the car project has led to discussions about its future focus areas, particularly in technology and software, rather than hardware, in the automotive space. That's all for today's episode of the Apple Daily News. We hope you found these stories insightful and engaging. Don't forget to check the episode notes for links to all the stories we've covered. Join us again tomorrow for more updates and insights into the world of Apple technology. Until then, stay curious and keep exploring.